So before you scroll, I want you to hear this. The reason that most people fail at making money online is because they start in the wrong order. They start with a product or a funnel or ads, and as a result, they eventually have the same realization. I have no audience. I have nobody's attention. People don't trust me enough to buy. And that's what kills momentum. The truth is, even the best product goes unnoticed when nobody's actually listening. So if you've ever felt like I'm doing this work, but nothing is compounding, or like you're consistently starting over, this is the missing piece. Because building income starts with people to sell. And in 2026, with all of the garbage AI-generated content that is flooding the internet right now, the simplest way to build that kind of attention and trust in a way that you actually own is a newsletter. A way that you actually own is a newsletter. It's not social media. It's not a platform that can change the rules overnight. It is a strategic newsletter. A newsletter lands directly, and you don't need an existing audience to make this work. You don't need to be internet famous. You don't need to invent something new. If you can talk about something that you care about, then you can build a newsletter and you can build an income around it. And if you're here and you already have a newsletter, perfect. This system actually strengthens what you've already built, and it'll help you install a clear path to monetize it. But there is a problem. Even when people understand this, they still don't do it. They stall, they overthink the niche, they get stuck on what should I say, they get overwhelmed by the tools, they second guess everything. And that leads to them quitting before the asset is even real. And so that's why we didn't create another course. We created something different. Because you see, thousands of people bought our last system that we sold, and we looked at the implementation and support data from those people, and we saw something that we couldn't ignore. A lot of people loved the idea, that was obvious, but they didn't follow through. They didn't get the end result that they're looking for. Not because it was a bad strategy or anything like that. It was because life got busy. They got stuck. They overthought it. Momentum died. And so instead of creating something brand new and sending you down another shiny next path, we decided to improve the way that we actually help you implement the system. Because the truth is, most people aren't falling short on their income goals because they need another strategy. They're stuck because they haven't followed through on the last strategy yet. One of the things I've said for years is, you're asking me for the next strategy when you haven't even used the last one I gave you yet. So we built a better way to implement what actually works. It's called the LifeThriver Game, and it's a complete audience to income system, and it's built on a foundation of game mechanics so people actually finish. Now, if you don't consider yourself a game person, good, because this isn't about playing some silly waste of time game. It's about making immediate, consistent progress in your business. The built-in game mechanics just help increase your follow-through. You're going to see clear steps, visible progress as you go through it, and the next move, the next step that you need to take, it's always obvious. And with those things in place, you won't drift. And besides, today, right now, you don't even have to consider the entire game. You're starting right here with the first quest. And if you like what you see inside of that first quest, which you will, then you can continue on to the next quest. Regardless, the fact is, every predictable income machine starts the same way, with an audience you actually own, not a following on social media that can be taken away from you overnight. You need to own the audience, and you need to be able to control it. And that's exactly what you'll have when you complete Quest 1 of the LifeThriver Income Game. We're going to teach you exactly how to build the same AI audience engine that we use to power our entire business, that, by the way, made us nearly $300,000 in the last 10 months alone. And right now on this page, it's just $27. So let me explain what Quest 1 actually does in plain English. Quest 1 will help you build the most important income producing asset that you can have in your business in this AI era. And that is a newsletter foundation that is real, it's live, and it's properly positioned and ready to grow. We're not talking about theory or someday. We're talking about an actual asset that you can build on starting today. And what makes this different than the other stuff that you might have seen is that AI is built into the entire process, so you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to guess. You don't have to stare at a blank screen anymore. Inside of the income game, we're going to show you how AI becomes your built-in partner by handing you the parts that usually cause people to stall. Clarifying who your perfect reader is, locking in your voice, generating ideas, writing drafts, publishing the emails, structuring the content, and even help you create the assets that you'll sell later. We give you AI to help with all of that. So instead of you thinking, man, I hope I picked the right thing, you're going to use the AI that we gave you, and the asset will become real and you will feel confident in that decision. Now, if we zoom out, Quest 1 is really built around two simple steps. And these are the two steps that unfortunately most people never even complete, which is why they never start building momentum. Step 1 is lock in your identity and your audience. And so this is where you actually just make a decision. You decide, who are you building this for? Who's the dream audience that you want to attract to read your newsletter? Also things like, what are you going to talk about? Why should people even care? With AI guiding you through this, these questions go away. The guesswork disappears. You'll get clear recommendations. You understand any trade-offs that might be in place. You stop bouncing between ideas or going from one thing to another, and you finally commit. You finally make a decision, which is something that most people never even get around to. But remember, that's just step 1. Step 2 is we take that decision and we make your newsletter real. We make it a real thing. This is where you turn the idea into a tangible asset that is ready to publish. You set up the newsletter home, you create your look and design the vibe of the newsletter, you establish your writing voice by using AI, and you install the welcome system, which is the thing that quietly drives all the high open rates and creates that instant authority. This way, by the end of Quest 1, your newsletter is real, it's live, it's published, now you're in the game. Now you can actually grow, now you can build trust. Now you can think about monetization when it doesn't feel forced. And inside of Quest 1, we're going to teach you both of these steps in a way that we've never taught them before. So even if you've been through some of our previous trainings or you already have a newsletter live, you'll find this first quest very helpful. And here's one of the most important things that I want you to realize. You still don't need a website. You don't need a product. You don't need to run paid ads. This system works before any of that other stuff even needs to exist. And that's because we're building the foundation first. The assets are being built first. The thing that makes every future income move just that much easier. Because when attention comes first, then offers convert faster. Trust grows quicker. Growth just feels easier. And making money from that growth stops feeling forced. It comes naturally. So that's why Quest 1 exists. It's not just a step 1, it's the beginning of the entire income game. Now, quick introduction here, just so you know who you're learning from. We are Justin and Brenda Glover, and for the last 16 years, we've helped multi-million-dollar companies, as well as solopreneurs just starting out, build predictable income through the exact thing that we're teaching here. Audience, trust, email leverage. And we've actually been behind the scenes of 29 different businesses, many of them generating 6 and even 7 figures monthly. So we've seen a lot, but I'll tell you the truth. Even with experience, the wrong systems will still keep you busy and overwhelmed. One of the biggest lessons that we've learned is that if your income needs you 24/7, it's not a system, it's more like a trap. And so that's why we started investing heavily into AI this past year, and we rebuilt the audience building process to remove all the friction, speed up implementation, and make progress actually feel doable again and fun. Because something is happening right now that a lot of people still haven't even noticed yet. And that is AI is making content easier than ever to create. Information is everywhere. Polished content is everywhere. And as that noise starts to increase in the marketplace, trust is getting lower. Trust is actually disappearing. You know, people aren't looking for just more ideas anymore. They're trying to decide, who do I believe? Who do I trust? Which means high volume content production, that's not the advantage anymore. Trust is, attention is, owning your audience is. And when you own your audience, the income that you make stops feeling forced. And that's why building a newsletter right now is one of the most strategic and leveraged things that you can do to position yourself for the future that you desire. My grandfather used to say, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's what this is. You build the asset before you desperately need it. You earn trust before you monetize it. And you establish presence now before attention gets even harder to earn, which it will. And that's why what we're teaching here comes first above all other paths to making money online. So here's what I want you to do next. If you're done with gimmicks, if you're tired of feeling like you're working, but nothing is actually compounding or moving forward, and if you want a clear, reliable way to build income in the right order, then start with Quest 1. Build your AI audience engine. Make that asset real for yourself. That will make the rest of the system that much easier because you'll finally have leverage. So click the button below and get instant access to Quest 1 right now for just $27. And to make this decision a little bit easier, you're protected by our 3-day guarantee. So get in, go through the training, use the AI bots, start building. And if you're not thrilled with what you find inside within the first 3 days, just email support. We'll send you a refund, no questions asked, and we'll even let you keep access to the Quest 1 AI bots. So you really got nothing to lose here, except staying stuck in that old order. So if you're ready, click below, get instant access to AI Audience Engine for $27, and I'll see you inside Quest 1.